Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan Steve Malicious here, and Samsung Unpacked has concluded. We have the S21, S21 Plus, and S21 Ultra among some of the other devices and features that Samsung talked about this morning. For the purposes here, we're mostly going to be talking about the S21 line of devices, and we'll start with the get off my lawn gripe because it's a Steve Malicious video, so that's what you come to expect, and certainly from a man who's been carrying around a pink phone for the last few months. Mystic Bronze. Listen, okay, they're capable of these colors, but for some reason, and you're going to get, believe it or not, special order, you're going to get that really nice red color that they have on the S21 Plus, but for some reason, they think if you spend a couple extra bucks, if you want some of those extra features that they have in the Ultra, that your rods and cones and your eyeballs don't work properly. You got the lavender on the other one, you got the pink, you got the red. No. On the Ultra, enjoy your phantom brown. The color scheme that if you're designing a cabin in New Hampshire, that's the color palette that you, but either way, it doesn't matter. Listen, especially on the Ultra and with the S21 devices in general, there were three things that they had to prove and do this year to at least get me interested, and I know a lot of you are interested as well in getting an S21. The first thing was the design. The design of the S20 was at best uninspired and at worst ugly. It was something that any slab manufacturer could do, and certainly not something that you'd expect from Samsung, who's supposed to be a leader in these Android devices, and certainly not when you're getting up in the $1,400 and $1,500 price range for a slab phone. And that brings me to point number two. The second thing that they had to work on, besides the design, was the price, and they brought it down. Now, I know, listen, anything's going to be too expensive when you're talking north of $1,000, but at least on the Ultra now, you could get an Ultra starting at $1,200, and the base S21 at $799 with all those features packed in is starting to border on a good deal, decent deal, fair deal. I don't want to say good deal for an $800 phone with this stuff, but you're bordering on starting to get reasonable at $800 with all the stuff that the S21 does pack. The third thing that they had to improve is you had all these videos. They're right up front, all this fantastic stuff. You got 12-bit HDR, and you got all this 8K video, and you can shoot all the movies, all the great cutscenes that they did, and all the rest of it. But for all that nonsense that they put in there, and that huge camera hump that they had on the S20, the 108 megapixels, all the rest of it, the space zoom, in the tests, it didn't even show up that much better than the Note 10 Plus from the previous fall. And then you had problems with the laser autofocus. So let's try to walk before we can run. If we want to get fancy with the redemption, let's make sure that you're going to have a camera that at least could focus on what I'm wanting to catch in 8K. If you're going to get the 12 bits, I want all 12 bits of the HDR in focus at least. So let's try to make sure that the laser autofocus works, and that the camera works, and that the space zoom, they're not calling it space zoom anymore, the 100x zoom is at least worth the price of admission. So those are the things they worked on. A couple of the things we could see right away. I like the design of the S21. I think it's something worthy of Samsung. I think it's something worthy of spending a couple extra bucks on a premium phone. It's eye-catching. It looks a little futuristic. It's something that appeals to the eye. Now, the other things that they got rid of with the design, which I'm perfectly happy with, is this is now the official, I could say, passing of the curved display. I never was a huge fan of it. I think it made it easier for the swipe gestures on the side. That's fine. It always annoyed me on the Note series because you're trying to use the S Pen right up against the curve of the screen and it would fall off. All kinds of annoying things. I think it gives you extra screen real estate. I don't care how it looks if there's some sort of infinity drop off or it looks like it's melding into the background of what I'm shooting. I don't care about all that. I'm just staring at the screen and I want as much real estate for games, for videos, whatever it is, on a flat display. I don't want anything lost over the curve, so I'm perfectly happy with that. My friends overseas, they were incredibly cagey talking about the processor in the S21. So unfortunately, It looks like if they're in the United States, they did mention Qualcomm, so you're probably going to be getting the Snapdragon 888, even though they didn't specifically mention that. And overseas, unfortunately, my friends, enjoy your Exynos once again. So it looked like with the Fold, when there was only one version with the 865 Plus, that they were going to be phasing that out. Now it seems like they're going to be bringing it in, trying another shot with their Exynos 5nm chip this time. We'll see what the performance is like. On the Ultra, the specs are what you'd expect. 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 12 gigs of RAM, the S Pen support, which they kept S21 Ultra exclusive, which I think it's fine. And they also kept the Note series viable for at least another year because it's not a tiny S Pen that you're going to be able to add to this. They're using the tablet S Pen. So if anything, it's kind of more the tablet functionality as opposed to the ease of use of just having the S Pen in the device that you could pull out, nice small little S Pen that you could use on the smaller display. They had the big S Pen that they use on the tablets, but also another one, that Pro Pen or whatever that they're coming out with, that also could be used on there, which is just a bigger device in general. There were a couple other things. The refresh rate, the variable refresh rate, I was hoping they were just going to say, listen, Quad HD Plus, whatever it is, 120 hertz, go to town, full up all the time, especially with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, but they kept going to that intelligent refresh rate stuff, and I don't like that. If you have a Razer Phone 2, and you set it to 120 hertz all the time, listen, it might kill battery, but you're an adult, that's your choice to make. But it feels nice going through every single menu, every website, every setting piece on it at 120 hertz is nice and pleasant to the eyeballs. I don't like the fact that they take it down to the things that they think are low priority in the system that you don't need high refresh rate on in the name of battery life. If I want to kill my battery, that's my choice. Especially if I'm living next to a charger, we're all inside. You got wireless chargers left and right. You got plug, fast charge, this, that, and the other thing. Let me kill my battery with 120 hertz all the time. I want to enjoy that. And they don't give you that option. I don't like it. And I have it on that on the Fold 2. And the intelligent, it doesn't even, sometimes it feels like it's a super fluid display, but a lot of times it just feels like it's a regular display. And you don't pay for that. I want 120 hertz in every animation, every menu, everything. And I hope at least there's an option, that the kill your battery option, that you're able to select and say, hey, I want 120 hertz at full Quad HD all the time. So we'll see if that's something that they provide. Overall, interesting device. We're going to have it here on the channel. I don't know which one we're going to get. I was kind of hoping for the lavender and the Ultra to have here. I don't want to do a custom one, get the S21 Plus or something like that. I do want the Ultra. I do think it's interesting. And a lot of those specialized features. Some of the other things from Samsung Unpacked, we'll just mention one real quick here at the end of the video. The Samsung Things, the one that they advertise, you find your lost pet, your dog. Yeah, doing that by pinging. Listen, it's a heartwarming story. And trust me, if I lost one of our pets, I'd want every technology. I wouldn't care about security or safety or any of that stuff. I want every phone pinged within a 100-mile radius to help find our lost pet. However, them using the open Bluetooth connections in your devices to ping users, and they're saying, well, it's secure, no data stored. I don't know about that technology in the future. It's you being able to locate basically every Samsung user as you drove down the street and all the rest of it. I know, listen, security stuff, that's for another day. But if you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and subscribe because we'll have the S21 Ultra right here on the channel as soon as AT&T sends it to me. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.